Hi, I'm gonna eat my Funyuns with salsa. So, let me explain myself. I threw away the entire script that I had for this video, and instead I'm just going to speak off the cuff and we'll go from there. This is what we're talking about today.
How do you read?
Where the Crawdad Sings by Dalia Owens. Let's see if I can get, look at that. Once upon a time. No, I don't want to start my story like that. That's too cliche. I was floating around the internet as I do, and I wanted to get back into reading, and I was also in my writing kick at the time, where I wrote 1/3 of a book. And I was in my writing circles, as you do when you're in a writing kick. And my writing circles were talking about that book, the one in the background. Zoom in on it, Pika. Where the Crawdad Sings. Well, walking in Walmart one day, I saw that book was on sale, and I was like, hey, I have money. I guess I could get that. Let me just, hold on, tangent. I got really sick the other is fucking 5 or 6 months ago, and if I hadn't gotten the support from you people, like TikTok and everybody else, I would not be where I'm at today. We would have been ruined. But now, instead of being ruined, we are ahead. I am ahead. I am chugging towards that New Year's resolution of paying off all my debt, just chugging along. It's a good time to be alive, so thank you so much. Okay, tangent's over now. The hardcover is 368 pages for context. So I guess I read about 100 a day. Sounds about right. And my life has been empty ever since I stopped reading. So it really helped me, and I don't think I would have been able to focus throughout this book if I wasn't taking notes. So take notes, everyone. I wrote his prologue, chapter 1, and then chapter 2. Yeah, great. First off, we're going completely into spoiler territory. I do not care if you've read this or not. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be talking willy-nilly, spoiler city. I'm not holding back. I'm not really particularly emotionally invested in this book. I do think it's a good book, but remember, I am not a professional. I do not have any professional salt to give you. So this is just my opinion. I think that if you got to spare however many dollarinos it is at Walmart, you should totally grab it and read it. However, be warned, it's very sad. Also, trigger warning, there is sexual assault and puberty and extreme loneliness that might tear your heart out and then send it straight to hell. Little Nas X is just on his little stripper pole, and he stole your heart after you ripped it out after reading this book. That was a dumb metaphor. This book made me cry like 3 or 4 times just because it was so overwhelmingly depressing. It does end on a good note and a very cool revenge note, but it is so depressing. I gave it an 8.3 when I first read it. I think after stewing on it, I give it a 7.9. I don't know what the point system really is. It's just, I think it's good. Where the Crawdad Sings is based in... Where the fuck is this based in? Honestly, I don't remember where this is based in. It's based in the marshlands, though. The swamps and stuff like that. I want to say like Louisiana, Georgia, the southern area near the ocean. We have 2 timelines in this story. We have the 1969 timeline, which is a murder mystery where we're following around 2 detectives that I do not give a shit about, and they are trying to solve the murder of Chase Andrews. And we start the other timeline in 1952 with Kaya, our main character. And eventually, the 1952 timeline will catch up with the 1969 timeline. And let me tell you, the first bit of the 1952 timeline was so incredibly heart-wrenching and boring that I just really wanted to skim to the cool true crime murder mystery. I don't know if you know this about me, but I know way too much about true crime. I don't know if it's because I am a girl in my 20s or what. I just really love true crime. I like forensics bullshit, and I can tell you way too many fun facts. Like, did you know that the Unabomber was really caught by a forensic linguist? A forensic linguist? There you go, a forensic linguist. Did you know that? Well, you do now. So let me explain 1969, and then we'll go to 1952. Essentially, what is happening in 1969? In 1969, haha, nice, Chase Andrews his body's been found, pushed off of an old abandoned fire station, and he's all dead and shit. And that really sucks because this guy used to be the quarterback of this town. It's a very small town, so obviously quarterbacks are super freaking important. He's apparently an upstanding citizen, except he's a little bit of a flirt. And we do not know who murdered Chase Andrews. And I will not tell you until the end of the review. If you are buckling in for the ride, you'll probably figure it out, though. I believe in you. You're really smart. Now that you have this set up, 1969 doesn't really go that far. There's nothing that really in 1969. It's basically just that and detectives bumbling around trying to pin who the fuck murdered who the fuck, you know? What's happening in 1952? I'm gonna tell you. 1952, we are introduced to our main character Kaya, who I believe is 6 years old. Yes. Remember how I just now gave you a trigger warning for abuse? Well, Pa is abusive. He is an abusive, alcoholic bitch, and I fucking hate him, and I wish he died. And he does, eventually. Spoiler alert. He's not the guy who's murdered, though. I only really know him as Pa. I'm pretty sure we get to know his name later, but it's not important. Because Pa is super, super abusive, Mama, flies the coop and leaves the 6-year-old and like 4 other children alone in this shack in the middle of the marsh. They are redonkulously poor, by the way, like excessively poor, living off the land. And this is in 1952, so money was worth a little bit more, and they were still fucking poor. The reason why is because Pa is a piece of fucking shit. He's a deadbeat dad who beats his kids. Kaya, doesn't quite understand, she's like 6, doesn't quite understand that Mom is leaving her forever. And it is a thought that she will keep having. I'm waiting for Mom to come back for like 6 years. And it is so sad. After Ma left, there are 3 siblings, and Kaya doesn't know any of their names except one that will come back later. And Pa is a World War II vet, and his only source of income is disability. He says that they can't like apply for welfare or anything like that because that's a handout, but he's getting disability. And I'm not saying disability is a handout. I'm just saying that take the help where you can get it, you fucking prideful piece of shit. Every single one of his children leave except Kaya because Kaya is 6. Everybody else, all of her older siblings, they're gone. They flew the coop. After Mom left, they left. And she is left alone with this abusive pile of garbage and is forced to figure out how to survive in this extremely harsh, wild, wild west but wet world. Kaya doesn't actually know how old she is and won't know her birthday for like the majority of this book until she learns how to read. She doesn't learn how to read for a long time either. So Chase Andrews is also in the past in 1952, and we get to see him. He almost runs Kaya over because Kaya needs to go get groceries. Some of my notes are really fun, so I might just like read some of my notes out loud. Like Chase was a whore. That was one of my notes. Chase Andrews. Oh yeah, Kaya's real name is Catherine Clark, and the reason why she finds out that her real name is Catherine Clark Catherine Clark is because people from the local school come out, truancy officers, to make her go to school, which she decides that she does go to school despite not wanting to go to school because they will give her food because she's 6 and doesn't know how to fucking cook. I'm not saying that you need to know how to cook when you're 6 years old. I'm just saying that why did everybody fucking leave her? She's 6. And dad's a piece of shit. Oh my God. Okay. I need a Funyun to calm down. They throw this poor child who's never been to school, and they just throw her in the 2nd grade. She's 6. She should be in kindergarten, but they throw her into the 2nd grade, and someone asks her, how do you spell dog? And she's like, fuck, I don't know. I'm 6. After going to school a grand total of 1 day, she never goes to school ever again because everybody bullies her for being essentially a swamp rat. Oh, hey! Now we're gonna go to my favorite character, Tate. So, Tate is one of Kaya's siblings' friend, the sibling being Jody, which Jody left Kaya, unfortunately, because Jody is also a dick. So, Tate is a very, very important person in Kaya's life. Is a really sweet guy, a little bit of a weenie, but you know, it's okay. Tate knows that he likes Kaya. He's a little bit older than Kaya, maybe by like a year or 2. He helps Kaya out a lot. Like, he teaches Kaya how to read. When Kaya has her first period, he's the one who tells her what to do, like essentially saying, hey, you're a girl. You're gonna, it's gross. He's just a really good guy. Obviously right now he's a child. And how Kaya and Tate meet is Kaya stole her dad's boat and is boating through the marshlands and gets lost, where she happens upon Tate. And Tate helps guide her back to where she lives, which is with the worst human on the history of the planet. By the way, the dad also leaves Kaya for extended periods of time to go gamble, because remember, Kaya's dad is a piece of shit. Kaya eventually is able to kind of break through Pa's shell and essentially tells Pa, hey, how about we go fishing? I'm pretty sure the motive was because she was fucking starving all the time and having something other than cornmeal that's mushy because she doesn't know how to actually cook it. Maybe that would be, fish would taste great right now. Kaya catches a fish when they go fishing. Pa fries it, teaches her how to fry fish, and he gives her his World War II knapsack because she likes to collect things. The thing about Kaya is it's really unfortunate that she was born in poverty, because she's extremely intelligent and really, really, really likes nature. And so she spends a lot of time collecting feathers from birds and different types of shells, different types of plants. And then Pa opens up to Kaya essentially saying, hey, by the way, I used to be wealthy and then the Great Depression happened. And then that also came with lots of debt. And so he lost all of his family's wealth and then went to the army and then proceeded to fuck up his wife's life because he was a terrible person. Pa takes Kaya to, I can't remember this guy's name, but there's this guy who's really nice to Kaya. He owns essentially a gas station that's on the water. So Kaya and her dad go to it on their boat, and then they can get stuff like food and gas for their boat, which is their only mode of transportation, by the way. Also, Kaya doesn't have shoes. Eventually, when Pa leaves, because Pa just disappears and she never sees him again. When he disappears, that man who owns the gas station is like the only adult figure that actually takes care of her, and his wife actually also takes care of her. His wife actually gets clothes and will get her shoes and will get her femininity products, pads and shit. What's really funny is that there's some religious folk and they look down on Kaya really bad. So it's really cool to see this gas station owner who's not rich by any means, like, essentially trying to give it his all to this actual 7-year-old who is by herself, lonesome as fuck. By the way, she's scared of people, so it's really cool to see someone that likes her and that she likes him. So, you thought that everything was going well with Pa, right? Well, you're wrong, because it's not. Mother sends a letter, and it's in the mailbox, but Kaya doesn't really know how to read. So she gives the letter to Pa, and Pa freaks out, and he burns that letter, and never takes her fishing again, barely even acknowledges her existence. Starts leaving at extended periods of time, leaving her completely and utterly alone. When Kaya is left all alone, she figures out how to make money. Remember that gas station man? Well, he takes fresh mussels, but he can only take so many pounds a day, and he'll pay you for it. He ends up being her employer, essentially, and she ends up giving him as many mussels as she can get. She ends up getting actual money for herself, and it feels good. Feels good, man. Oh, good. Yeah, mussels become her source of food and income. Don't forget, it's also her food. Jumpin is his name. His name is Jumpin. She also fishes and does smoked fish, but it's really bad. But Jumpin will also buy it from her because he feels really bad for her. I would too. It's 1956 right now, so remember how she was 6? Well, math happens, and now she's older. Here's my note for chapter 12. His wife, which is Jumpin's wife, produced so many clothes, food, and other goods. So nice. Finally, someone is trying to take care for this damn child. Freaking jeez. I don't know why Protective Services hasn't come down. I guess it's because no one really cares, because she's a swamp rat. She's poor trash or whatever, so they're not gonna help her. But I just wish someone wished her away. But alas, no. We're miserable here in fucking wild, wild, wet town. Kaya's been surviving. A lot of the book at this point is just her surviving, trying to figure things out from the time she's 6 to whatever. She is just trying to figure out how to survive, and she gets a rhythm going, and her favorite pastime is collection. Like I said, she's a biologist. She's collecting feathers and plants, and she makes little displays for them, and she can't label them because she can't read, but she does display them in this rickety old shack that doesn't have electricity, by the way. And there's have been some rare and sweet feathers on a stump nearby, and she collects them, and guess who's been leaving them? It's our boy Tate! Ah! Thank you, Tate. Kaya leaves a bald eagle feather for this mysterious feather person. And then the next thing that I said was, that person was Tate, smiley face. By the way, I didn't fully explain. Jumpin is black, and this book takes place in a not so great period of time for those people, and that gets highlighted, and it makes it very uncomfortable. So I'll just read you my notes for chapter 16, which is Kaya was going to go to Jumpin's house, but she beat up some racists instead and went home. My girl Kaya. Kaya wants to go to Jumpin's house because Jumpin is the only person that gives her any time of day, and she ends up getting scared and anxious about doing that after she beats up some racist bitches that threw rocks at Jumpin. I don't know how old she is, but it's 1960, so 14, I guess. There comes a point when she is 14 that because she hasn't been to school or whatever, the social services people start coming out occasionally. They're not trying really hard, but they come out occasionally and they're like, hey, yo, where are you, Kaya? But she's afraid of people and really good at hiding, so she kind of runs like a little bunny rabbit. Pew! And then she has her first period, and then Mabel is Jumpin's wife, and Mabel brings her some feminine products, which fucking thank you so much. Oh my god. I can't even imagine being poor enough to where I couldn't afford feminine products, because awkward, gross. Let's just say feminine products, super cool. Love them. They're kind of uncomfy sometimes, but I'd rather have them than not. But you remember how Tate teaches Kaya that she has, that she is having a period because she's a girl? Well, it's okay because Tate brought a cake, good boyfriend, and left. By the way, Tate ends up becoming Kaya's significant other for a while. And you also learn that Tate also has a tragic backstory. Tate's mom and sister died in a car crash. They were trying to get a bike for Tate, and they went to the city, and then they came back. So Tate blames himself, even though it's not his fault. But tragedy. So a little more time has passed, and they've been dating, and then Tate gets accepted to college and has to leave Kaya behind, which becomes really sad for Kaya because she doesn't want him to leave, and she does not want to go to society. I don't know if it's because for this entire book so far, we're on like chapter 18. I don't know if it's because the entirety of society has rejected her or something, but it might have something to do with that. Tate is super busy with work and school, but still tries to see Kaya Christmas gifts and brings dinner, which is really nice of him. They almost have sexy times, but Tate reels his boner in. Promises to come back before the 4th of July. Spoiler alert, this is where he leaves her and does not come back to the 4th of July. So I know that you're probably wondering, hey Ruthie, what about Chase Andrews? Has anything else been developed? Well, during this time, in the Chase Andrews part, freaking Bozo 1 and Bozo 2 has figured out that Chase Andrews went into the marshlands by himself for extended periods of time. He had red yarn fabric on his jacket and was wearing a suspicious necklace. Remember those because, By the way, 4th of July happens and Tate does not come back. It's very sad. Everybody has left her and now she's depressed. She made a promise to never love anybody and I cried. Why did the damn mom leave Kaya? I will never forgive her. Jesus Christ. On a stick. Shish kebabbed with some delicious garlic sauce because we skip in some time and now she's 19. She is still running away from people. She kind of lingers around the beaches and stuff, and she sees the people that she went to school with all those years ago, and they're actually all still friends because this is a ridiculously small town. No one else got any connection elsewhere. This is where Chase Andrews of the past starts interacting with Kaya. Chase is a horrible, terrible human being. I don't know if you know this, but everybody else thinks that he's a really outstanding guy, really cool. No, he's terrible. The only reason why he tries to interact with Kaya is to have sex with her. That is it. And it's horrible and it's terrible. And it's because there are rumors floating around that she's a wild thing and there's a bet going on to see who's gonna sleep with her first or blah blah blah. It's horrible. It's terrible. Humans are horrible. Wipe us out, nuke this town, save Kaya only. Kaya, Jumpin', Mabel, Tate, and Tate's dad. Those are the only people we're saying, nuke the rest of them. Then Chase straight up tries to assault her and then she runs away like a good little girl. Then, Chase apologizes to her, and because she's had no human interaction, she is manipulated back into his friendship, and they become friends. Spoiler alert, they end up dating. Chase doesn't understand why Kaya loves the marsh. There was a really good line in this book akin to saying that anytime that she fell, the marsh was always there to catch her and became her mother, which is a really nice line, and I wish I could find it, and I'm not going to flip through that book, but it's a really good line. And that's essentially it. She's been alone all of her life up to now, besides Tate and Jumpin', Mabel, and Chase now. And the only place that she spends her significant amount of time and the place that she really loves is the marsh. She has so many souvenirs from the marsh. Now that she knows how to read, she has read so much to where she can label all of the things that she has with scientific labels, and that's what she does. And she also picks up drawing and ends up drawing a lot of the plants. She is in love, biologist, super cool, love her to death. She, super smart. Chase doesn't understand why she loves the march. But remember Tate and how he went to college? Tate actually went to college to be a environmental biologist or something like that. Essentially, he's been inspired by her love of the marsh to get a degree so that way he can come back and study the marsh too. That's his plan. He has actually come back and sees Chase and Kaya kiss at the most inconvenient time. And my name for Tate for a while was Cunt because I was so upset at him. I was so upset that he had fucking done this to my girl. Oh man. And then Kaya ends up actually going to town to buy college books because she wants to learn more. Her thirst for knowledge is real. Chase talks to her about getting married and essentially puts her hopes up. Spoiler alert, he does not do that. He's a horrible, terrible person, only wants her for sex, and says that, he'll spend Christmas with her, he'll spend this and that. He does not. Kaya is alone all the time. This is a horrible, toxic man. I cannot wait until we break up with him. We break up with Chase. So Tate comes to apologize to Kaya, saying that he was essentially a terrible, horrible person for leaving her. And I'm glad that he has accepted that. This is when I started moving towards the steps of forgiving him myself. And it's also where Kaya starts her journey of forgiveness as well. And it says to Kaya, look, I know you're with Chase. I want to let you know that Chase is actually engaged to someone else. And she doesn't believe him and all of this nonsense. And also, he also sneaks in that her samples, her like feathers and all of that stuff is worthy of a book. Keep that in mind. And then Kaya walks into town and sees Chase with his arm around some girl, and she picks up a paper and they're engaged because this is a small town, I guess, and they have like newspaper like ad placements to head engagements or something. I don't know what normal people do when they get married. Maybe it's normal. She ran out into the tides of the sea with her boat to outrun the pain, but she won't be able to outrun it. She thinks she's doomed to a life where she's constantly abandoned, and I am tending to agree with her. The current pulls her to a beach that is littered with rare shells and stones, and she continues to move on. Congratulations. Good job, my girl. It's 1967, by the way. 1968. We're catching up rapidly with 1969. Let me tell you what's been happening in 1969. Someone has implied that Kaya is the one that killed Chase because they have some sort of connection. Remember the suspicious necklace? That's the connection. Yeah, that's basically it. Also, some people saw Kaya. They think they saw Kaya at like 1:45, which was in time for the murder or something like that. So we're going back to 1968. Kaya, remember all of those samples that she has? They actually get sent in, and she gets a book deal, and she gets royalties, and she starts climbing her way out of poverty, getting electricity, getting an actual refrigerator, replacing shit that's like essentially disgustingly fallen apart, and actually starts living life, which is dope. She gives a book to Tate, and she gives a book to Jump In, which are the only people to have helped Kaya consistently throughout the years, which I think is really great. And Kaya then goes to the city and says, hey, this land is my land because my dad is no longer here and I am my dad's daughter. And the city is like, okay, just pay these taxes that haven't been paid and the land is yours. And so Kaya's like, cool. And she buys the land in time to stop it from being developed by some evil, nasty corporation who I do not know, but they're buying up land to build like a resort or something. And then the best thing happens. Good thing after good thing happens to Kaya in 1968. Jody comes back home. Remember that older sibling from way back in the day? Yeah, that guy comes home. He went to the army, and then he gets to explain to us what happened to mom. So essentially, mom had a mental breakdown, snapped and walked and walked and walked, took a bus and walked some more, and went all the way to her sister in a completely mentally broken way and would not speak for like 2 years. And then after she snapped the fuck out of it, was so incredibly, horrendously depressed that she left her children behind in a abusive household with Pa, and then sent a letter to Pa saying that she wants to collect the children, and he sent a letter back saying that if she came to collect the children, that he would beat them unrecognizably bad and kill them or something like that. And she believed him, so she never went to go after Kaya or any of the children because she still thought all the children were there, and then died. How horrendously depressing. Oh my God, I cried. And that's when I forgave Mom. Fine. This is about the time when I was reading so fast that I'd stopped taking notes because the plot was thickening really quickly, really fast, and I wasn't slowing down. So I'm going to paraphrase as best as I can that I can remember. So now we are in complete timeline. We have met up. So here's what happened. Chase Andrews gets pushed out of the fire tower and the police don't know who it is. So the police do some digging and people say that the Marsh girl ended up doing it. Or they think that they did it. And then some fishers say that they thought they saw Kaya's boat in the darkness at 1:45 a.m. The police get a warrant to go search Kaya's residence and find the woolen cap. And that woolen cap is Tate's, by the way. And end up saying that this is enough to imply her in the murder, even though they couldn't find the necklace that would really, really imply her in the murder. So she gets arrested on essentially hearsay and a red cap. And the judge won't get a new jury that, you know, like you're supposed to get a fair trial, a fair jury that isn't like influenced by the fact that they hate the Marsh girl and they also hate the fact that, you know, they think she killed Tate or whatever. Terrible people. And she ends up getting a really, really good defense attorney from somewhere who essentially is taking this pro bono. Everybody who's loved her, and they come to her and they're like, hey, you know, you're gonna get through this. We're gonna get you through this. And then we learn that if she gets fucking tried, that she gets capital punishment. This is a capital murder. They are going to put her on the death penalty. And somehow the attorney is able to poke holes in the police and the defense attorneys or the prosecution's case, and she ends up getting out, which fucking huzzah. And then her and Tate get together and then they get married and it's all good, well and good. And essentially the defense attorney was like, how dare you guys, essentially in legal speak, how dare you guys abandon this poor child for so long and then with no evidence say that she committed murder when she didn't. She was in a different town when the murder happened. She was talking to the publishing company to publish a second book. Wow. So, then she gets married to Tate. They live their biology life in the marshland, and then she dies. And guess what the twist is? She fucking killed Chase Andrews. Fucking yes, girl! Thank you! I forgot to tell you why she killed him. Do you want to know why she killed him? He tried to rape her. Yikes. Absolutely horrendous. What a terrible human being. He tried to rape her, and then she like snapped and was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna tell him to meet me up at the fire tower and I'm gonna fucking push him to his death. And then she did it. She got away with it. As she should, because he was a horrible, terrible person. My queen. Anyway, that's the book. And my opinion of it is that I enjoyed it while I read it. I don't know if I could say it's a masterpiece, but hey, I thought it was pretty good. I do think it's very sad. If you're a very empathic person, it's gonna really suck because the loneliness she feels is absolutely heart-crushing. It is the worst ever. She is utterly and completely alone and doesn't know why as a child for a long time, and it's so sad. I want to cry. That's the book, Where the Crawdad Sings. Should you read it? Go ahead. If you are not triggered by the subject matters that I have discussed, go ahead and read it. I will say that I don't think that the writing style is anything to really write home about. But it is an easily consumed writing style. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense, but yeah. So the book that I will be completely doing actually fully script written, and it's gonna be cool because I have ideas for cinematography. That's right, cinematography. It's not just gonna be me yelling at you. For the Hannibal-a-thon, that's gonna take a long time. I bet that's gonna take me a year or whatever. I just finished the first book. Okay, so it's gonna take me a while. The next book that I'm reading that I will be casually reviewing to you in this format is, hold on, let me go grab it. The next book I will be reviewing is Wuthering Heights. I want to go through the classics and actually read through them and give you my opinion because I think school sucked away all of my want to read classical literature. I'm gonna go back and read it and tell you if you should read it. This is the Barnes & Noble's edition. It has really cool artwork and stuff, and the back says, "Be with me only." Wait. Be with me always, take any form, drive me mad, only do not leave me in the abyss where I cannot find you. I don't know what this book is about, but I'm starting to think this is a romance book. I will read it and I will let you know what I think. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this horrendously long video about a book. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for Pika for editing this book. And if you want to support the channel, myself, and Pika, then go ahead and trot your little pretty self to Patreon and maybe consider throwing a buck or two at us. We old content creators and editors. So if you do not have smackaroons that you cannot throw at us, you can go ahead and watch all my older videos. I still need enough watch hours before I can become a partner to get ads, so that way I can make ad revenue. So that would be great. If you can't support monetarily, then go watch more of my stuff. Anyway, I think my hair is pretty cool today. What do you think? But yeah, well, I'll see you cool cats later. Thank you so much. Love you so much. Bye. Oh, here's another We on Trial. Fuck.